Different types of blades you're going to see. This is a pretty common standard blade that you'll see for everything except for greens mowers. On greens mowers, since we have so many blades, it's really hard to get in there and actually grind them, and so they put in a milled relief. This blade right here, if you look at it, has a milled relief. And since it has a milled relief, the outer part of this blade has the thinness that we're looking for less horsepower, and the inner part has the strength we want so it doesn't break the reel. So what they do is they give you strength, and then this gives you that thin distance. This allows you to spin grind a greens mower without actually putting a relief grind in it. There still are people that will relief a greens mower, but it's not really necessary. Most people do not relief grind a greens mower simply because it's already milled down, it's already narrower, and it's time consuming. It takes a lot of manpower to do all that. This is an individual hand relief. You're going to do it one at a time, unless you have a fancy enough grinder that it, once you've adjusted it, will actually go through and actually do it by itself. But you still got to set it up. You still got to parallel it. You got fingers in there. You got to adjust each one. It's time consuming to set it up for something that's not going to gain you too much. So some of your higher end courses will do that because they're looking for the ultimate and precise cutting. So they'll do it. Anything less than a nice fancy country club usually doesn't have the budget to afford to do that. So it's not really necessary. On this type of ground, regular relief, regular blade, you need to cut and grind a relief in there. Rake angle. Rake angle is the twist that's in the blade. So if you put a parallel here and you put a line there, there's not a lot you can do with that. Looking at the top angle, we're looking for a 5 degree up here and 5 to 15 in the front. These two lines are parallel. You can see the gap in here. So even though it looks square, it's not square. When you buy a brand new blade and it comes right out of the package, they're going to cut a 5 degree top angle and a 15 degree front angle, which means you don't have to cut the front angle, but you still have to cut the top angle even though it's already correct. And the reason why is when I bolt it onto this bed knife, most bed knives are not flat. So when I bolt it on, it's going to conform to this bed bar, and when I bolt it on, now I'm not perfectly flat. My blade will not be parallel to the reel. So brand new reel blades, once you have installed them, you need to flatten or surface the top angle and make it parallel to the reel. We'll get into that more. The reel and the bed knife have to be perfectly parallel. If they're not parallel, one end is going to cut, the other end is not. If I don't surface that once I've installed it, I'm either going to have a smile, which means the bed knife is curved down, or I'm going to have a frown, which means the bed knife is bowed up. If it's got a frown in it, it's only going to cut grass in the middle. It won't cut on the edges. If it's got a smile, it's going to cut on the two edges, but not in the middle. The only way to get it out is either to take it out and grind it, or you have to backlap it. And when you backlap it, you're going to wear the reel into a frown or to a smile. So you don't really want to do that. So the best thing is just to grind it beforehand. There are people out there that just don't worry about it. They just stick it on, they go out and mow, and they let the abrasives in the grass, the sand and stuff, wear it down, and they just bring it in and adjust it several times until it wears itself down in there. If you do that, it will wear into that and wear the smile out or the frown out. The problem is you're going to have really poor quality of cut wherever it's not touching until it wears itself in. So unless you don't have any desire to have a quality of cut, you don't want to do that. And in a nicer courses, that would probably not fly very well. And so you want to... What's that? You're going to take a piece of paper and stick it in here, and you'll cut all the way down. That's how we'll check it. The other option is take a feeler gauge. Take a 2/1000 feeler gauge, and you slide it in, Slide it in, slide it in, just keep going down, slide it in. So that's how you can check it. So it's pretty easy to check.